Yes, people, what's going on? It's your boy Big Augs, and welcome back to the voice of the tune. So, the league is here after a long summer break. The Premier League is back on our screens, and I'm happy, man. It's been a long time coming. It's been a boring summer, bad weather. So at least that the Premier League's back and Newcastle are back playing on our screens, and also this is the Champions League season. So obviously last season, as we know, we finished in the top four, and this is the season where us fans have been waiting for. And today is also the release of our Prime Video documentary, which I'll be watching later on this evening, the first part. But today we're talking about the big game ahead tomorrow, live on Sky. Newcastle face Aston Villa in our first home game of the season, our first game of the season, and what a game that is. I think we've got a tough start. Looking at the fixtures, we've got Aston Villa at home, then we've got Man City away, and then Liverpool. So we've got three tough games, and then we've got Brighton and Brentford. So our first 5 games is crazy. So, and because of that, that puts a lot of pressure on the game tomorrow. It makes the game tomorrow a must-win game. It's always good to get off to a winning start. We did that last season against Forest 2-0. So I'll be looking for the boys to do the same off the back of a strong pre-season where we were unbeaten, where obviously we played teams like Gateshead, we beat them 3-2, and then Rangers, and then we had that Premier League Summer Series in USA where we played Aston Villa. Eddie Howe went for a different formation. He went for 5 at the back, which I felt like it never works. The 2 in the middle was, I think he had Tonali in there with Bruno, if I can recall correctly. But the two in there got overrun, and I'm never a fan of 2 in the middle anyway. So, and then obviously the Chelsea game, and then the 2-1 win against Brighton where Jordi Maradona got the double. And obviously we had the Sella Cup last week, Fiorentina 2-0, and the 4-0 against Villarreal. So 2 wins at home last weekend. So a very, very, very good pre-season from the boys. We kicked off where we left off from last season, unbeaten, hard to beat, on the front foot, aggressive, just everything that you want from a side. So I'm sort of confident going into tomorrow's game, despite Villa's recruitment. They've made some good signings. Obviously, Emery at the back of last season pushed them forward, and then they found themselves in Europe. So off the back of that, they've managed to get some good signings in. Pau Torres from Villarreal, Tielemans on a free transfer, Diaby as well, who has been linked with Newcastle, who some Newcastle fans are a bit sour about, but it is what it is, isn't it? Like, I trust in Eddie Howe, and I'll get onto that later on in terms of our transfers made. So Villa, our strong side, they've got goal threats left, right, centre. Ollie Watkins, we know what happened when we last played them in the league at their ground. They blew us at the park. So obviously this time we're at home. So, and our home record against Villa is quite decent. We haven't lost to them since 2005. So that's 14 Premier League games where we lost 3-0 to them. So we're 14 Premier League games unbeaten at home against Villa. So, we know how to win at home against Aston Villa. So it's just about doing the same again tomorrow. The first game of the season, the fans are going to be buzzing for it. So, I'm looking forward to it. It will be in my eyes, it will be a very open game because both teams like to play on the front foot. Both teams would want to dominate the ball. So it's probably going to be the game of the weekend. It's such a good game to watch, to refer to. 2 teams going at it, 2 attacking teams, fearless teams. But we just have to start quick. We need to get on the ball, quiet down Aston Villa because they'll fancy their chances against us. For them, this is a good test, against the top 4 side. So we just need to start quick and take our chances. And obviously, if Eddie Howe starts Sandro Tonali, it'll be interesting to see how he plays and where he plays. I see a lot of fans talking about his pre-season, but listen, let him understand the love that he's going to get from us fans, and he's going to die for us. Like Bruno, same way Bruno came, and then he experienced that home ground atmosphere. It's the same thing. So just give him time. Obviously, he made a move from Italy, so just give him time. But it'll be interesting to see where Eddie Howe plays, him or Bruno. I still feel like we needed to get a solid number 4 in to push Bruno up forward, but it didn't quite happen. So Bruno and Tonali are similar players. You know, it's just about getting them on the ball, and tomorrow those two players will be key for us if they do play. And I say if because we've got so many options in midfield. You know, with Elliot Anderson having a smashing pre-season, and we've got Big Joe in there, and we've got Lewis Miley in there. You know, so and Longstaff as well. So we've got options in there. So I say if because, you know, playing for Newcastle now, nothing's a guarantee. You know, you're not guaranteed to start. So if they do play, I'll be interested to see how Eddie Howe does it. So it's just about getting on the ball and just being aggressive, taking our chances. You know, last season we missed a bit too many chances in these sort of games, these close games, and obviously they led to draws, which is better than defeats. But you know, we need to start fast, like I said, because we've got tough games coming up after Villa. So, but I'm confident. I'm not fearful of Aston Villa. I feel like the team, the boys are well prepared. Eddie Howe has been talking in the press conference, and which I'm going to read out now. He's obviously giving us an injury update, and he's been talking about Fabian Schär, who's had some doubt coming into the season, but Eddie Howe has this to say about him if it loads up. Let me just get it up for you. He says this. It says, as it stands, yes, he will be available. He trained this week and trained well. He was back with us on Tuesday, so he had a full week of training. Obviously, Fabian Schär, he's been out for some of the pre-season, and you know, there's been talk about us looking for a right-sided centre-back. We saw us linked to Disasi, who's now gone to Chelsea, and various other ones. Now I'm seeing Anderson from Crystal Palace. So that area of our defence is obviously up for grabs. Do I think he's going to start? I'm not sure. If you haven't played much pre-season, I'm not too sure he's not going to throw him in. You know, Eddie Howe doesn't work like that. So he's been talking about obviously Fabian Schär and on transfers as well. He says, personally, I love one more player, then we'd have an ideal depth. You know, is there money? Good question. We don't have the money to slap on the table, but we've got to be creative. You have loans, staggered payments, those types of things. So, you know, like we're seeing now, people are getting a bit more creative with their transfers. You know, like Chelsea, for example, found a loophole in FFP where they were able to stagger payments for 8 years, for example, and give players long-term contracts. So we've got to do the same. And I saw one the other day, I think it was Arsenal with Brentford and David Raya, you know, a £3 million loan for the season, and obviously with the obligation to buy for 27 million. So these are the things that we've got to explore, because yeah, our owners have money, but the club doesn't have the money that the owners have. So and we can't spend the owners' money. We've got to build revenue, you know, and by doing that we can either sell players like we have sold Sam Maximum, which I'm disappointed about, because we're going to need the depth this season, especially playing Champions League football Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday against top teams as well, and we're going to need to play our best 11 in both games. So, you know, for me, it was a massive blow to sell some maximum, like the way we did, but it is what it is now. So, but yeah, back onto the game. So I'm excited for the game. It's an evening game. I won't be going, but I'll definitely be watching it on TV. So the team that I believe Eddie Howe should pick, I feel like Nick Pope picks himself. Considering obviously Fabian Schär's injury news, I would not start Livramento yet. I think that's a good signing as well, to be fair to you. He's a young, brilliant signing. I wouldn't start him yet because I feel like he's come back from injury, and also he's just joined the team. So I would still go with Dan Burn, left back. Even though I wanted certain positions, man. A left back was massive for me, but we didn't get that. So I'll still play Dan Burn left back, Botman, and I'll play the Sells right centre back. He had a decent preseason with Trippier right back, and then I'll do so that's 4 at the back, and then I'll do Bruno in number 4 or in the middle of the 3, and then I'll do Tonali and Joe Linton either side of him. And then I'd have this is where it gets tricky, but I love it. I'd have Harvey Barnes out on the left hand side. We saw him get his 2 goals in the Seller Cup, I have Almiron, who's had a good preseason. You know, we're starting to see the Almiron of last season as well. So, you know, I'm glad that he's keeping it consistent. And up top, Killerman Isak has to play. You know, like I said last season, Isak is the reason why Callum Wilson scored as many goals, because he kept him fit. If Wilson was our main number 9, he would have got injured. So I feel like Wilson benefits from him coming off the bench and causing havoc. So up top, Killerman Isak, and that's the team I'll do. And I'm going to predict for tomorrow's game against Aston Villa, bearing in mind that we haven't lost to them in 14 games since 2005. I'm going to go for a Newcastle 2-1 win at home. And the 2 goals will come from Almiron and Isak. And tomorrow we're going to see how brilliant of a signing Tonali is. You know, we're going to see him be creative, tenacious, aggressive, and play with heart. So 2-1 with Newcastle. Up the boys. Our first 3 points of this season. It's going to be a massive season for us, massive season for us fans. And I'm going to enjoy watching this documentary. It's your boy Big Uggs. Make sure to like, to comment, and to subscribe for future content. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.